Hello and welcome to 360 Sports on Trust TV. I am Emmanuel Fashimi. It's actually a beautiful Friday morning in the city of Abuja, the capital territory of Nigeria. We've got a whole lot to look at on the show this morning, and where we'll be looking at one particular story and action. The match day 7 of the Nigerian Premier Football League games were played yesterday. I will be looking at the results of those games and how the table is taking shape. And then Libya, the saga between Libyan authorities and the Super Eagles of Nigeria, it's still ongoing, and then we're getting that information from CAF, their decision on that particular issue. And also later on today, the CAF Confederations, that is CAF Women's Champions League, the draw will be up and running, and for Edo Queens, they are expecting they will know their opponents at the end of the draw for today, because they will be representing Nigeria and the Wafubi region. And then we'll also look at the UEFA Women's Champions League and other stories on the show. All right, let's begin from boxing this morning. Let's start with this particular story, boxing, where Tosin Kwa, the African boxing champion, a boxer who rose from the streets to become famous boxer, to at least now he's a professional boxer, looking at all the challenges he went through before becoming a professional. And also he's looking forward to represent Nigeria in the Olympics. Tosin Kwa hope to represent Nigeria in the Olympics. Fantastic fighter, still young, and he's looking forward to do great things for the country when it comes to boxing. But before he rose to this level, he actually faced a lot of challenges. And what we are looking at for when it comes to talent, Nigeria has them everywhere, every nooks and cranny of the country. We have Nigerians, we have talents embedded everywhere. It's just for us to identify them, harness them, expose them to good facilities, give them the best of training, and then they will be representing Nigeria proudly in any of the competitions they go for. All right, we have Isaac Omidiji joining us on the show this morning. Isaac, welcome to 360 Sports on Trust TV. Okay, when he's ready, we'll join us back, and he will be making his own thoughts to know on this particular story. But for Tosin Kwa, it's a good one. It's good to dream. Okay, Isaac, welcome back. We're talking about Tosin Kwa, who is hoping, and he has that dream to represent Nigeria at the Olympics.
Yes, good morning, Emmanuel, and thank you for having me this beautiful morning again. It's good for Tosin, and I'm happy that a young guy with a lot of passion for boxing has indicated that his passion and his dream is to fight for Nigeria. Remember, he was in amateur level and he didn't get the recognition he thought he should get, and now he has gone professional. So at this professional level, and looking at the fact that professionals can now also fight in the Olympics, he's looking forward to fighting for Nigeria in the Olympics. But he knows that he has to put in more works. And look at, you mentioned that he has passed through a lot of challenges. We should also remember that this guy 4 years ago was at the National Sports Festival in Edo, where he lost in the finals. So he has come a long way. He has fought on the streets. He has fought as an amateur. He has fought at the National Sports Festival. Now he's the African champion. So that progression is a good one for a young lad. And he also understands that he needs to still build his body frame. You will agree with me that with the current body frame, he still need to do other, considering the fact that he has seen the likes of Floyd Mayweather as well as Anthony Joshua as his role models. So he must do everything possible to fight like those people, especially Floyd Mayweather, and so that he can become not just an African champion, but world champion.
Okay, not just African champion, but world champion. If we look at, we have many of these boxers. We have many of them on the streets who has not gotten the opportunities. And if we look at boxing in Nigeria over the years, Isaac, I think to some extent you agree with me that the sport is not getting that recognition it used to have before when it comes to Nigeria and the continent of Africa and the world at large to an extent. But boxing has not really gained that momentum. That momentum has dropped. That recognition is no longer there. We don't really have that power, that strong presence when it comes to boxing on the continent of Africa and Nigeria as we speak.
Yes. Yes, Emmanuel, you're right. And if you listen to the interview granted by Tosin, when he was asked how he was able to break through, he talked about the National Sport Festival and he talked about leveraging on the media and social media specifically to promote himself. That is telling you that the access for these young lads to promote themselves is very, very poor. And we also need to see how we can bring in more investors, more partners, especially from the private sector, into boxing. That will go a long way in helping the young boxers to grow. And they also shouldn't look down on any opportunity to showcase their talent. Go for any opportunity, even within Nigeria, to showcase your talent. You might not know who is watching. Don't forget that Tosin got his coach, his current trainer, right from where he starts showcasing what he can do on social media. So anything is possible. You have the social media to leverage on now. Have a page where you promote yourself. Have a page where whatever you've done is posted. It's a way of showcasing yourself to the world. And who knows? Someone more interested can come and invest in you.
Okay, who knows, someone interested can come and invest in you. For Tosin, we're actually looking forward to him getting that opportunity, that shot of representing Nigeria at the Olympics. All right, let's leave boxing and let's move away from that story now. Let's talk football. It is match day 7. Action continues in the Nigerian Premier Football League. Yesterday in match day 7, and we had a lot of games played across the various centers of the match venues as in Nigeria. We'll start with the game played at the Samuel Ogbumedia Stadium, where Bendel Insurance of Benin, that's the Benin Arsenals in Edo State, defeated Bayelsa United 3-0. I think that win I think Bendel Insurance actually needed that win because they've not started the season very well. And Heartland FC of Owerri and Ikorodu City, after Ikorodu City getting their first win of the Nigerian Premier Football League, they got a draw against Heartland, World 1, and then for Katsina United, they beat Akwa United 1-0 and Plateau United at the Jos Township Stadium. It was 3-1 against Remo Stars, and Rivers United under Finidi George continue to do well, beat Shooting Stars of Ibadan at the Adokim Simaka Stadium in Port Harcourt against Shooting Stars, that's 3SC of Ibadan. Isaac, the Nigerian Premier Football League, I love what is going on, and let's start with that game of Bendel Insurance before we look at Rivers United, and then pick one other game for Bendel Insurance against Bayelsa United. They needed this win at least to get their confidence back in the league.
Yes, Bendel Insurance were in serious need of a victory, and a massive one, and they got it against Bayelsa United. They've not started the season very well, considering the pedigree of Bendel Insurance and considering what happened last season. I'm very happy for them. You see, you said you love what is happening in the league. Love is an understatement for me, if you ask me, Emmanuel, because I have seen games so open, games so lively, wonderful goals, away victories, away draws, and I think so far so good after joining the league, and it has been very competing, even as early as the 7th match, the 7th. So for us to continue to see this, I pray we will continue to see better, results and better games. The quality of players also increased this season. If you have noticed, Manuel, if you have watched some of those games, these are the quality of players, tactical acumen of coaches have continued to increase in this particular season. Just look at what happened 2 days ago between Rangers International and Canopilas at the Cathedral. Look at that wonderful piece of game of 2 halves. Fidelis Lechiku came in before the second half of that game, and he almost turned it around. So these are the kind of things we want to see. Let's see technical decisions, making differences in games. So for prevention insurance, good for them. And for Rivers United, Finidi George is still firing.
Okay, Rivers United, they got that vital win against Shooting Stars of Ibadan, 2-0. And let's look at Finidi George, and then we have ex-Super Eagles, 3 of them in the Nigerian Premier Football League. Finidi Amunike, who is with Heartland, who got a draw. Finidi is with Rivers United, and we have Mokachi, that's Daniel the Bull. They played 1-1 in their own game, that's for Lobby Stars. I think with these 3 guys as Super Eagles, it has brought, I don't know, maybe my own, from my own view, it has brought a different face of life into the Nigerian Premier Football League.
Yes, because if you look at it, that set of 1994, 1996 happened to be the best set of Nigerian national team players, if you ask me. And a lot of people have been clamoring for them to undo our national teams. But we've always also argued that why not come and prove your mental with the league or in the league, either within Nigeria or outside Nigeria. Do something. Just don't eye the national team position because you are 1994, 1996 set. Come and show us what you can do. I think Daniel Makachi did it before with Galatasaray United. It was not successful. And now he has started with Lobby Stars. In 2 games, he has gotten 2 draws, 1 in Mina, and 1 at home now. So for Amunike, he has also not gotten into rosy this season. Atlanta have not been on the right pedestal. They have just gradually improving. But for Finidi George, he continued from where he stopped as manager of Eyimba to be transforming Rivers United, and they'll be playing well, getting good results. You know, if it continues this way, I want to see more rivalry between these 3 coaches. Remember when Rivers United played Atlanta? That Rivers United won. I was happy to see in the dugout 2 former internationals, you know, that we are both clamoring for that can do it at the national team level. It's a good plus, and it's going to bring, you know, attention to the league. But Emmanuel, that's not even my issue. My issue is, how is the NPFL leveraging on the return of Ahmed Musa to the league to promote the league? This guy has not just returned; he returned with a bang, and in the second game, he was still the man for everybody to watch. How are we using him to promote the brand of the NPFL? He should be the star boy, the poster boy of the NPFL. There should be a lot of branding around him. He's an international figure, international star. It will attract a lot of investment and investors into the league.
Okay, he will attract a lot of investment into the league. Talking about Ahmed Musa, I think someone has suggested that he should be drafted into the Chan Nations Cup, that is the qualifiers. He should be drafted into Super Eagles Team B, that is home-based Super Eagles. And if that happens, you know what it means for the Chan Eagles. All right, let's look at the table. Let's look at the table quickly after those rounds of game played yesterday and Wednesday. Rivers United now go back to the top of the table. Out of 7 games, they have 17 points with 8 goal difference. Remo Stars is now second with 15 points from 7 games. Also, Enyimba have 14 points. Plateau United have 11 points, occupying the 4th position. We have Katsina United on the 5th position with 11 points. Kano Pillars is 6th with 10 points. And then Enugu Rangers remain on the 7th position with 10 points and 0 goal difference. Niger Tornadoes 8th with 10 points. We have Sunshine Stars of Akure with 10 points on the 9th position. And Nasarawa United occupy the first half of the table with 9 points. The flip side, we have Bendel Insurance starting the flip side of it with 9 points. We have Kwara United 12th position with 8 points. Academy Warriors of Borno on the 13th position with 8 points, and we have Abia Warriors with 8 points on the 14th. Heartland 15th position with 6 points, and now Shooting Stars of Ibadan 16 with 6 points, and Ikorodu City have after moving Ikorodu City, where they now have 5 points. They have 1 win, just 2 draws to their name, having 5 points, occupying the 20th position. And that win against Bendel Insurance, it was as if they've won the league. Well, the first community team in the Nigerian Premier Football League. Isaac, I think for Ikorodu City, well, is work in progress after they sacked their coach.
Yes, that will be confirmed that it is work in progress if they can sustain the victory they've gotten, and the result of the draw they got in the last match. So it's not yet easy for them. We know it's going to be difficult for Ikorodu City, but we know that's a young team made up of young players, young managers with talent. But these talents need to gel together. It's the NPFL. It's not the Nigerian National League, and it's not the league in Lagos. So this is a bigger league, and they need to strive and match up to what is expected of them in the league, and they will fly.
Okay, and they will fly. All right, let's leave the Nigerian Premier Football League and go straight to Cairo, where the CAF headquarters is based. The big story on the show this morning, CAF has now given deadline to Libya to respond to all that transpired at the Al-Bak airport in that country between the Super Eagles and the Libyan authority. CAF set deadline for Libya. Now, Isaac, CAF is now giving them 20th of October to respond to all that transpired at that country, at that particular airport, where the Super Eagles players were held hostage 15 good hours.
Yes, Emmanuel, it's a very sad commentary on African football. I wish it never happened. I've never been happy since that saga occurred and how it has been handled. You don't keep people on stage. This is not a war zone. It is football. It is soccer, for God's sake. You don't divert flights that can lead to a crash. No, you don't do that. You don't play politics to that extent. That is not diplomacy. That is stupidity. I think CAF should be able to come with a hard knock and stick on whoever is guilty. Even if there is anywhere the Nigerian team is also guilty, give them a knock. You know, it all started that these Libyans have a plan right from the first leg. They orchestrated a plan. It started working for them based on what they wanted. Even to the pitch of play, they were ready to sleep on the floor. They were ready to lie down. They were ready to fall that any slightest opportunity. Those are all the plans they have. Remembering, knowing that they wanted to do something in return. And they did what they did based on their own wish and went back to their country, start making noise on some of the things that were even strange to us. You know, some of the things they mentioned were so strange. They came up with one video that you can question a lot of things in that particular video. And they held a whole national team to hostage for how many hours? That is bad. That is politics taking too bad, too far. This is not a war zone, as I mentioned earlier. Yes, we know that Libya is a war-torn country. However, this is football. And I think CAF should have a rethink of even allowing matches to take place in Libya. Remember in 2021, this same thing happened to Rivers United when they went for a CAF Confederations Cup. Same thing to Enyimba in 2022. We should stop all this. If Libya is no longer safe for football, why not take it away from them? They are not the only country that are not playing. That will not be playing in their own country. Ghana is, look at Sudan. They played Ghana in Libya, and they landed at the El Benghazi airport, where Nigeria cannot also land. Questions. I hope they respond, and I hope CAF will be discerning enough to discern between the right and the wrong.
CAF will actually have to decide between the right and the wrong for Libyans. They didn't do well at all by holding Super Eagles players and their coaching crew and every other official hostage in that country for solid 15 hours without food and water. But let's see what CAF will do, because also fingers has been pointed to CAF for even allowing matches to go on in Libya. In the first place, we've seen matches being moved away from countries. The Sudan you mentioned, matches were moved away from that country for just in Guinea because of a coup d'etat. Matches were moved away from Guinea. So why allowing games to go on in Libya? Well, let's see what CAF will do, what they will come up with at the end of the day. They have the knife. They know where to cut it. But if they don't cut the yam very well, then it's going to be too bad, because it doesn't look well for African football. But before we leave this story, Isaac, with this kind of incident, what is the way forward for us as a continent?
If CAF had stamped its authority ever since these South African countries have been coming with so many antics in football, this wouldn't have been happening. If CAF had punished the Libyan club during the 2021 CAF Champions League with Rivers United, this is what happened. If they punish them in 2022 against Enyimba, this should not be happening. But what did CAF do in those two instances? Nothing. So we should look at the fact that every country that is hosting another country should be in charge of everything they need, which is what the Libyans failed to take responsibility of. And this is part of the CAF rules. Nigeria took responsibility for them. They changed the travel plans, changed the transportation given to them, and put them on their own terms. So should Nigeria force them to take their own terms? No, they decided to go on their own terms, and whatever you observe or see or experience, it's your own problem. So CAF is very decisive in its approach to disciplinary issues. Also, CAF should try and limit the influence of politics in football. This is politics, nothing again. This is pure politics. You could see Morocco, Tunisia standing by Libya. These are two North African brothers. Algeria will not stand by Libya. You know why? Because Algeria and Morocco have issue with CAF. And the major country having issue with CAF is Morocco because of Algeria. So look at all this intertwined politics. It is not affecting the beautiful nature of the game on the continent. So CAF needs to purge itself also of politics. CAF needs to be more disciplined, and CAF needs to be more decisive with actions it will take against countries, club sites, officials, or whoever must have gone against the rule of the game. It's very important. We shouldn't bring the game to disrepute. Any country that failed, even with by mistake, to provide what is necessary to be sanctioned.
Okay, provide should be sanctioned. All right, let's move away from that. Still with CAF, but this time around, let's talk women's football, where Edo Queens will know their opponents in the CAF Women's Champions League draw that will take place later on today. I think that draws will be coming up. I think 12 midday thereabout in the afternoon. Now, quickly, Isaac, Edo Queens will know their opponents. And before now, we know what they did at the Wafubi Championship. They were crowned champions without losing any game at the Wafubi tournament, where they qualified for the Women's Champions League.
Yes, they are one of the new clubs. They're one of the debutants in that league. It is scheduled for Morocco between the 9th and 23rd of next month. So they did well in the Wafubi, no doubt. They were champions. They did very well. Took virtually all the but they are going to face the real club side.
Okay, they are going to face the test when the competition kicks off next month in Morocco. Morocco will be hosting the Women's Champions League. That's the CAF Women's Champions League. Let's leave the Women's Champions League, the African zone. Let's go straight to Europe quickly. There were games in the UEFA Women's Champions League last night. Let's have those results in group C and D. Those games were played in the UEFA Women's Champions League. We have in Group A, not C and D now, Galatasaray, the team of Super Falcons defender Tosin Kwa, they lost at home to Roma 6-1, and Wolfsburg of Germany lost to Olympic Lyonnais 2-0. And then in Group B, Real Madrid hammered Celtic 4-0, and FC20 were beaten by Chelsea women's team. In that order, those games were played last night in the Women's Champions League. All right, let's quickly look at this story. It concerns Victor Osimhen. He has come out to say, okay, his decision to go on a loan move to Galatasaray is actually a good one for him. We know that Osimhen is back. He has 3 assists already to his name in that league, and then a goal also. And we are expecting him to come good for Galatasaray. At having put that injury behind him, we believe he was not there with the Super Eagles during that ordeal in Libya, and the game played at the Godswill Akpabio International Stadium in Akwa Ibom State. So now he's saying yes. His move to Galatasaray, that loan move, is a good decision. We can see him happy again. We can see all he's doing all to at least to become that, to go back to that Osimhen we saw in Napoli. Last season was not really a good one for him, and at the end of last season, is actually has not really been. We know what surrounded his move away from Napoli to Galatasaray. All right, let's take this last story on the show. This one is tennis, where Danielle Collins, world number 9, reconsidered retirement. She said at the end of 2024 she was going to retire, but to face a fact, at least he wants to settle down and have a family. She wants to settle down, but now she has reconsidered that retirement decision, and we will be seeing Danielle Collins of America come 2025. Yes, he will continue playing tennis come next year. All right, that is where we'll be leaving it on the show this morning. 360 Sports. Thanks to Isaac Omidiji for joining up on the show, and that is it on the program. I am Emmanuel Fashimi. Say thanks for watching.